Folks, on a daily basis, Democrats are putting more and more up that the president will have for his 2020 re-election bid. I'm your host, BKP. And these are the ways you can contact us. It's Tuesday morning here, 706-889-9700. Those are all the social media ways you can follow the show. New York Mayor de Blasio headed to New Hampshire amid 2020 speculation. Wouldn't you love to see de Blasio get in on this? I mean, and spin his Green New Deal? No, the president went after, said that Alexandria, wait a minute, is that her name? Alexandria, what's her name? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, okay? That her Green Deal was like a term paper. So how many of you on social media saw the cartoon with the farmer or the guy that came up to the cow and said, you know, I don't want your beef or whatever. I want your methane. How do I get your methane? And he said, pull my hoof. Right? There you go. There's a laugh line. So the Green Deal has really blown up. Nancy Pelosi on a daily basis is getting up and saying, what the hell will I have to shut them up? This Green Deal has really messed up. Trump made fun of, what are you going to take, a high-speed train to Hawaii there, Miss Senator from Hawaii? You know, you get that sourpuss look on your face. So de Blasio may be headed to New Hampshire, and the Democrats will bring out a list of people on a daily basis that we will hear the most absurd things. America's not ready for single-payer health care. They're not. All right. Sherrod Brown of Ohio has asked Trump to stop media attacks after BB&C cameraman is shoved. Okay, there was a BB&C cameraman, Sherrod Brown of Ohio, who is seriously considering a 2020 presidential bid. On Tuesday, called on President Trump to rein in his supporters. Attacks on the media, warning of a tragedy happening sometime in the future. So Brown made a comment after BBC cameraman was shoved and cursed at during a Trump border rally in Texas Monday. He should call off his supporters. Call off the dogs, Donald. He should call off his supporters who are doing those kind of things, Brown said at a breakfast sponsored by Christian Science Monitor. Call them out and ask them to stop. We all are concerned there will be something worse happening sometime in the future. Interesting. So the media, if they liked you, they may not be upset with you, but that is out there. And we have the, as I told you earlier, we have the in good faith, okay? We have the deal. That's on top of this news report. I just want to look at this again one more time. This is from The Hill. I'm not going to go deep into it. Lawmakers reach agreement in principle to avert shutdown. I'm telling you, they're doing everything they can to promote, okay, to promote this shutdown or possible shutdown. This would truly be Trump's fault because even a bipartisan group came together behind closed doors in principle and put something together that he should accept. So before I close, I want to go through this. Number 5, this is the governor of California. Is it Gavin Newsom? He is, Gavin Newsom is, I have another one here I want to show you. And one other story I want to get to, because I'm going to highlight more of it tomorrow. I'm going to go and look at it a little more tomorrow. This is the governor of California. Hang tight, hang tight. Hang tight. I got something else here. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. There he is. Go to number 44. Okay. Number 44. Regardless if you're Republican or Democrat, this is not necessary. California governor rebukes Trump on border, withdraws most of state's National Guard troops from Mexico border. He says he's not going to be a part of Trump's charade on this border wall. He's not going to be a part of it. So that's happening out there. Now we have, okay, number 6. Now let's talk about the Muslim, okay? Now first of all, folks, you are shocked out there this morning that a Muslim, okay, said something anti-Semitic. You're blown away. Now, Republicans want, and this is Joe and Minka, and what Joe is going to do this morning and what the media is doing abroad, they are making sure you understand how anti-Semitic Republicans are, how anti-Semitic Donald Trump has created an atmosphere of anti-Semitic. This is Trump's fault. This woman says that the only reason we support Israel are these Congress and the senators are paid off to support Israel. And Joe's going to show you how, okay, racist Trump is. And how Joe is going to go in and MSNBC, and they're running today the narrative, actually protecting this woman by saying, is this any worse than Trump and his Nazi-type comments, and his Nazi followers, and his white supremacists, and anti-Semitic views that they have? I tell you what, they are a piece of garbage, these people. Piece of garbage. Republicans want Representative Omar removed from the Foreign Relations Committee. Okay, but what is it? Here is what Joe puts up, number 7. Okay, crooked Hillary makes history made, most corrupt candidate ever. Well, they claim that most corrupt candidate ever in that tweet that Trump set out in 2016 happens to be in a Jewish star. So they're running number 8, okay? And it doesn't matter what network you go to, CNN or MSNBC, they're saying apologizes. She apologized, man. Representative Omar apologizes after claiming U.S. politicians are paid to be pro-Israel, okay? Now give me number... Oh, a minute, I got this one here. Number 24, MSNBC. Omar apologizes. Anti-Semitism is real, and I am grateful for Jewish allies and colleagues who are educating me on the painful history of anti-Semitic tropes. At the same time, I affirm, okay, the problematic role of lobbyists in our politics, whether it be AIPAC, the NRA, or fossil fuel industry. So I'm going to read to you right now and release what Nancy Pelosi said I had to if I wanted my ass by the end of the day. Okay? All right. Here's what happens. This is not a joke, all right? I don't know where it's at. But when they all get elected in, Pelosi has a tour set up for them. Okay? And Pelosi has the tour for them of where they can be in the building. Okay? And where they can be put if they don't play by the rules she has in place. So Pelosi has, up there in the House, the Speaker has an area where it's Siberia. It's the Siberian offices, and you get sent there and you don't see the press and you're not close to the microphones, and your office, and you get stripped of your committee chair positions or your committee positions. That's where you make a little extra money, so on and so forth, and you get more perks to go with it. And after Nancy decides she's going to strip your ass of everything, you write this, but you don't apologize, okay? Number 25, she sent out a tweet, listening and learning, but standing strong, okay? I'm a Muslim. I don't give a damn. They're Jews, all right? Pretty simple. Number 26, would you not have loved to heard this conversation? Nancy Pelosi tweeted out, in our conversation today. Let me tell you how the hell this is going to work. I will say this. You don't have to like Nancy Pelosi. I do not like Nancy Pelosi, but I'm going to tell you that Nancy Pelosi can kick some ass. I mean, that DCCC. In our conversation today, Congresswoman Omar and I agreed, that we must use this moment to move forward as we reject anti-Semitism and in all forms. I think they agreed, okay? Here are the tweets. We'll just show it to you real quick. Number 27, that she sent out, okay, that she's apologizing for. It's all about the Benjamins, baby, AIPAC, all right? And so you actually think, give me number 20, give me number 33, apologizes after claiming U.S. politicians are paid to be pro-Israel, okay? You really think, all right, that she is a Muslim and she apologized to Israel? Absolutely not. It did not happen. She did not apologize, okay? And that's all they're doing all day is telling you she apologized. She's sorry. Number 45, Representative Omar apologizes for tweets called anti-Semitic. My intention is never to offend my constituents, okay? So, again, she apologizes, all right? CNN number 46, all right? They run this. They're doing everything to help her apologize, this Muslim. In fact, what the Democrats believe in the LGBT, there's no way the LGBTQ community, she accepts that. So Nancy's wondering, what will this one do today? What will crazy as hell? All right? What will crazy as hell, Princess Crazy as Hell from her tribe do today? Number 35, trading shots. She's mad that the president talked about her Green Deal. There's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, all right? So she's wondering, what the hell will she come out and do today? Nancy's nerves are shot. What's going to happen today? Now, last night at the rally, they're going to go all day long with this woman, this Muslim that's anti-Semitic. They're going to go all day long, and they're going to talk about how she apologized and then say Trump's rhetoric, Nazi rhetoric, and his anti-Semitic supporters, all right, so they're going to turn everything is Trump's fault. This woman comes out and says everything is Trump's fault. Joe did this, number 9, just want to show you, okay, 6:05 a.m., all right, when they were down there at the rally last night. This is the quote that he said, well, I say quote, but this is what he said. Last night when they were down there at the rally in El Paso, the president, the crowd was yelling, lock her up, lock her up. He doesn't understand why the crowd doesn't yell, lock him up. And they showed a graph here, guilty, 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 indicted, okay, 8 convictions. So that's what they showed. They're going to go after the guy 7 days a week. Now, all right, so let me touch this rail. Let me touch this rail and let's go with number 17. Now, the Catholic Church, you need to understand, the Ocasio-Cortez, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you need to understand, they believe that God is a tree with a branch and a leaf, and God is the sunshine pouring in to energize our cars that will move us around. And they have a different view of God and what God is to them, all right? This is a group that has been determined, okay, to remove God from all things. All things. And then in return show that the downfalls that we have are due to religions. Okay, that's what they want to say, it's due to religions. They don't talk about the Catholic charities and the Catholics' work on adopting children. They talk about the Catholics' work on being predators of children. They don't talk about the Catholics' hard work on anti-abortion. They talk about them being predators of children, okay? So on and so forth. They never discuss any of the positives of the church. Now, the Southern Baptist Convention president apologizes to victims for sexual abuse. There can simply be no ambiguity. Thank you. Ambiguity. I'm trying for the fourth time. There can simply be no ambiguity. Get that out. About the church's responsibility to protect the abused and be a safe place for the vulnerable. If you have been victimized by a church leader or anyone else for that matter, and the Houston Chronicle story rekindled fear and doubt about how you could receive care, please hear us. We are profoundly sorry. It is an unjust tragedy that you experienced abuse in the past, and it is unjust and a tragic that you feel fear in the present. We, the church, have failed you. J.D. Greer, Southern Baptist Convention. Now, number 18. More than 200 Baptist ministers, deacons, and others have been found guilty of sex abuse, reports say. And number 19, this is where it's stemming from, the Houston Chronicle, abuse of faith, 20 years, 700 victims, Southern Baptist sexual abuse spreads as leaders resist reforms. The attempt to totally remove God and make all religion and make everything that is taking place in religion evil, it's something that we have to address as a culture, okay? I'm telling you right now, this is where they're going. Why would you listen to these people as far as elections, as far as abortion, as far as social issues, when this is what's going on within the church? Maybe the church has failed in staying pure to what their preaching should be, and I'll leave it at that. I want to make sure I don't forget anything before I close. I'm going to go more into this tomorrow, okay? Let me just say this. Background checks. Background checks, all right? Now, I do know churches now that do not allow, put that same graphic we just had up, okay? Now, what this says is, I want to get away from this only for the reason that I don't have the time to go in it, and I don't want to be confusing. But what that says is 220 years, 700 victims. And it says, church leaders resist reforms. And it says pastors, okay, it says pastors, ministers, deacons, and others. Now, there's churches that are starting to do background checks before they will let anybody teach Sunday school. There's churches that are now doing background checks before they will let anybody work in a children's church or a nursery or help keep babies or whatever in the nursery. There's churches now doing that. But one of the problems they run up against is the church is supposed to be for the forgiven. The church is for the forgiven, and that's the bottom line, is we're all supposed to be forgiven or ask for forgiveness, and we should be the ones that the church is for the forgiven, that we've come for forgiveness of our sins. Okay, not to go to preaching, but the reality is, so there's people that have lived broken lives, that have had problems, that maybe have gone to jail, but they're rehabilitated, they've given their life to Christ, they're dedicated to the church, dedicated to their family, dedicated to their community. And the church doesn't know everybody in there. And we will go into, but, you know, I find it interesting, and here's where I'll close. I find it interesting. Let me say this, because I was not preaching to you, but I want you to know this and I want you to hear this. I find it interesting that they're finding these problems victims of abuse. I find it interesting. They're finding these problems in the church. Now with the Baptist church, Catholic church. And they don't seem to be finding these problems in other circles. I think if you look a little deeper in the world, pedophilia, you may find it in other places besides the church. And I think in some areas, it's so close to being exposed of some very powerful people, okay, involved in some very bad things where children are concerned, that the church is the best escape they have to make everything be happening through the church so they're not looked at and scrutinized. I'm just saying, you ought to check other areas of what's going on. I'm your host, BKP. I didn't want to get too deep into that. Sorry if I made a mistake on that. Tomorrow, Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday, we'll be back. I'm just checking. Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Thursday, Friday. So tomorrow's Wednesday. We're hoping the weather clears up a little bit. We know you're not really pleased with our weather pattern right now in Georgia. A little rain, a little cold, whatever. So tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll be back. I'm your host, BKP. Don't forget one more time, 24/7 at any time you ever want to contact the show. That's how you do it. Social media. Look for us on Facebook. I'm out of here.